Hello and welcome back to another episode of WWBTD. What would the behavior team do? Today we have Jen, Joy, Shalonda, Ashley, and Shalonda again with us, and we will be talking about the notorious buzzword self-care, but we'll dive a little bit deeper into this with our special guest, Dr. Fernita Ware. By the end of this episode, we hope that you'll be able to take away at least one practice to integrate into your lives to make it that much better. About 2 years ago, our manager, Michael Sykes, heard of Dr. Ware's work. It was called Radical Self-Care, and Michael wanted to make it a part of our team's culture. And thank goodness they found each other because it has had the most amazing impact on our team. And our team, in turn, has helped Dr. Ware expand her work to impact so many others. So hello, Dr. Ware. Thank you for being with us today.
Hello, I'm really honored to be with y'all today. You know, you're my favorite group of people to do this work with.
Yes, thank you so much. So most of us have heard about the term self-care, but would you mind expanding and explaining a little bit about the difference between self-care and radical self-care for us?
So self-care is so much a part of the popular culture, and I like to always call it the nice things you can do, like a glass of wine or a bubble bath or a nice evening walk. And those are all wonderful things to do and done on top of intentional, ongoing self-care. They are like icing on the cake. Radical self-care was based on what I'm now starting to call a theoretical framework. And the theoretical framework is, especially right now, we all need to be engaged with an intentional, active self-care. So radical self-care came out of an experience of literally, figuratively, hitting the wall, like being so unhealthy, knowing that something intentional had to change. And then so the research around it identified 5 areas that all have significant impact on ongoing health and moving from survival to developing resiliency to thriving. And so from that, radical self-care is intentional. It is grounded in areas of nutrition, exercise, relationships, purposeful work. That's one of the things that's changed since the beginning of before it was like work. No, it's like you have to make your work purposeful in order for it to feed you. And then there's a 5th one. What's the 5th one, y'all? Come on, y'all know this. And so we've got those areas that we're focusing on, and it's an intentional plan to improve your health. The 5th one is sleep. How could I forget that? Sleep is so critical to your health, your brain health, your physical health, your emotional health. And so that's why we have those 5 areas to tap in on. So radical self-care is not, I'm going to do something nice tonight, because that's not sustainable. That doesn't change your health. And radical self-care is intended to change your physical health, your emotional health, your brain health. And in that, your body continues to tap in and say, hey, we've achieved that goal. Let's do one more. So I'll stop there.
That's amazing. So it's much more than just one thing. It encompasses all 5, which I know for a lot of people can seem a little bit overwhelming, but that's okay. I want to turn it to Ashley right now, because you know when Dr. Ware came to us, I mean, I think maybe some of us had some positive habits going on in our lives, but I don't think we were consistent with it. And so that's when I think a lot of the benefits, we really were starting to reap those benefits. So Ashley, would you mind sharing with us some of the changes, or at least what aspect of radical self-care had the biggest impact on you?
Yes. What had the biggest impact on me was the acknowledgement of the need for grace. Because like you said, it's not always consistent, and we have a habit of beating ourselves up. Well, I didn't exercise Wednesday and Thursday, so Friday forget it, right? Or I didn't journal on Tuesday, so I guess I'm not good at this. And so what I learned was, and Dr. Ware taught me this, is that every little bit counts. And so I'm doing something. So every day I know I need to take care of myself somehow, right? Even if I'm like, okay, I got 2 minutes today where I just got to sit and be quiet. But and I've said this before, my journey of self-care has been one of self-love. And so in giving myself grace, I've learned to be kind to myself. I've learned to not be so hard on myself, to say, Ashley, it's okay. And you did that. Yes, so today you drank an extra glass of water. You did that. So that has had the biggest impact on me, is the acknowledgement for the need of grace, to give yourself grace in this journey.
That's amazing. Got to take care of you first, right? Now, Shalonda, would you mind sharing a little bit? Yeah, what had the biggest impact on you?
I would say the biggest aspect of this work that's impacted me would be the journaling. I've dabbled in all areas, but the area I find I've been more consistent in over the past year would be my journaling. It's really kept me centered. It helped me identify my strengths and my weaknesses. I've had lots of opportunities to reflect on myself and my family, what I needed to do moving forward. It helped me with keeping record of just my thoughts throughout the day, feelings. And so, yeah, it's just really had a really big impact on my life. And so I really encourage journaling because it's something that I didn't do before that I found really has some really positive benefits in my life now.
That's huge. That's huge. Yeah, there's something about getting your thoughts out of your mind and onto the page so that you can focus on other things, right? That's so amazing. Yeah, Jen, it looks like you were about to share there.
I just want to say first off, before I start, Dr. Ware, I am like one of your biggest fans. I know you have lots of fans out there, and I just I'm so happy that you're here and honored today. You've literally changed my life, and so I know I always tell you that when I see you, and I just want to remind you of that right now. I would say, because I've been burnt out before as an AN teacher for many years after the recession in 2008, I really burnt out, losing my hair, no sleep, all of that stuff. And I didn't think I would ever get back into some profession. And when I did, it was like perfect timing to start this work with radical self-care, because I feel like it's built that resiliency, and I have endurance now to meet the everyday challenges that we face with some of the emotional and crisis situations we go into. I would say the thing that had the biggest impact was that awareness of all those aspects that I need to try to balance in my life. Even though sometimes I really struggle with one or two, it's really just being aware that, okay, I really need to work on this right now because I'm really, lacking on this aspect of my life and this radical self-care. So thank you.
I'll jump in on that a little bit too. One of the things that Dr. Ware shared with us was a 21-day calendar. And the thing that I like about that is that it's a visual of what you've, or what I've remembered to do, but there's also the grace in that if you skip a day, you can start over and you can start your 21 days. And Dr. Ware can talk a little bit about how that 21-day marker really is important. But the two things that I would say that Dr. Ware's work has given me is that sense of purpose, that purposeful work, because when you show gratitude, when I show gratitude, it, reflecting on that reminds me that this work is really purposeful and we do have a lot to be grateful for. And then what Ashley said too is just that grace, and being able to do this purposeful work sometimes requires you to just put it down for a little bit. And I would love for Dr. Ware to share the water bottle analogy. Because yeah. I think about it a lot. I think a lot about leaving my water bottle on the table sometimes.
I'm happy to do that. So first of all, let me talk about the 21-day gratitude calendar. So this work is based in brain science and positive psychology. So this is not something I just dreamed up that has no foundational basis in science. And so that's why it's effective. It's the grace, it's the consistency, it's the keeping it up. It's not the doing all the 5 areas, but picking out the one area that you need to work on, and then your brain will naturally expand it to the other areas. And so That's why it's effective, because in 21 days, you can rewire your brain and you will start to see the positives in your life. And once you start seeing that, your brain will creatively find other areas to grow and expand on. So the water analogy. So I didn't have a water bottle. So here we go. So I've got this little pot, right? And it's real cute. And you can see it's real light and everything. And so, you know, if I hold it like this and it's light, but after a while, my arm's going to get tired, right? And if I keep trying to hold it, my arm's going to harm itself, right? My muscles are going to fatigue and start to strain. But if I put it down for a minute, I want you to hear that. I put it down. If I put it down for a minute, then my body gets to recover. I get to develop resiliency. And that's how I develop thriving behavior. And so I can pick it back up and then I can hold it a little bit longer. So think about your concerns. Think about your worries. Think about your problems as this pot. And it's real cute and it's lovely and it's real light and you can hold on to it. But every now and then you need to put it down. And by putting it down, when you come back, you're refreshed, you're restored, you're able to see your concerns and problems from a new perspective. And so when you pick it back up, you're holding it a little bit differently because it's not overpowering you, because you control when you put it down. So thank you, Joy, for allowing me to share that analogy. That really landed well when I did that with your team. I remember a couple of tears.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Hits different each time.
you.
Oh, you almost got a tear just now. You're right.
Oh, that's amazing. So I heard, you know, Joy, you mentioned gratitude. We're talking about this gratitude calendar. What is it? And I'm going to pose this to you, Dr. Ware. What is it about gratitude, and why is it so beneficial? And in addition, what are a few ways we can practice it?
So gratitude is significant because we receive so many negative messages that convince us that we need to be harmful to other people, that we need to discriminate against other people, that we need to see certain groups of students as not valued, and therefore any actions we take against them is justified. We get to hate people if we're focusing on other things. And there is a lot going on in the world today, and more than ever, we need to be grateful for something. And so by doing 21-day gratitude, and this came out of Sean Anker's work, and I found it in other places. One of the things I continue to research this work, and one of the things that's come up consistently is the use of gratitude. So I have my little calendar, and every day I write at least 3 things I'm grateful for and why. The why is where you take it deeper in your brain. And in doing that, positive psychology says, and brain health says, you start to rewire your brain. And instead of always focus on negative things, you start to see good things. And it may be as simple as I woke up this morning and wow, I can breathe, or I can stand up, or let me get a drink of water because yesterday I didn't drink enough. My brain is a little dehydrated. So the 21 days of gratitude is just a measure of how to change your perspective on life. 21 days is great. 42 is even better. Doing it consistently. And Ashley, like you said, you know, if I miss a day, you know, if I fall off, you know, I'll pick back up.
Exactly.
You pick back up. It's okay. It's the grace piece of it. But it's the doing it consistently that does create neurological changes. And therefore, you're able to be more creative in your problem solving. Right now, we've got a lot of problems to solve. Mm-hmm. And so grounding ourselves in gratitude in the best health we can have gives us the resiliency, gives us the ability to thrive in ambiguous and challenging times. We are more important than ever in terms of how we show up as our best selves. And the foundation of doing gratitude every day gives you that resiliency. And so if you need to work on sleep, your brain will naturally say, okay, we got this gratitude thing down. Let's focus on sleep a little bit. And so you will naturally figure out what you need to work on. And so it's not this willpower, like I got to do this. Like you will naturally be like, you know what? It's time to cut back on sugar or whatever it is for you. And it's always personal. That's the beautiful thing about it. What your body needs, your body will tell you. And you will have the resiliency and the ability to challenge it. You know, like Ashley said, that step at a time is like, oop, I ate 3 cookies. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to cut back. So that's the significance of it. And I encourage people, just try it. Like, don't believe me. Just try it.
try it.
We've all tried it, and
Yes.
like, and it works. And I actually catch myself telling, like when my mom is in a really negative space, and like I'll catch myself saying, "What about all the things you're grateful for? What are all the great things that you have in your life right now? That's what you should be focusing on, because there's more of that than negative. So you have healthy grandchildren and healthy children, and we're all safe, and we have homes and jobs. So like I catch myself telling people that too. So it's awesome.
That's amazing. I love the fact that you can tailor it to your own needs. It's super flexible. Just like do what you can, and I love it's like your mind will just naturally kind of expand to tackle all of those categories.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
If writing it does not work for you, one way that works really well is when you first wake up, before you even get out of bed, just go through your mind. Or at the end of the day, it's kind of reflection. Here's the great things that happened to me today that I'm grateful for. So you can say it at the dinner table with your family. You can say it to yourself or out loud upon waking, or just before you fall asleep. When you go on your walk, it can be the thing you say in your brain. If writing it doesn't vibrate for you, do what works for you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I want to pose this question to everyone who's listening or watching. What small manageable thing can you change to improve that would increase how much you maybe move your body, or to improve your well-being? Maybe it's just creating time and space in your mind. Just take that and think, what can you do? Right now, what we're going through is really heavy. And, if we don't take care of ourselves, it's just going to add to the heaviness. And so that's our challenge for you. We will post that 21-day challenge. It's a calendar, even though you can totally use any old calendar, but it is a link to that calendar if you want to print that out for yourself. I want to thank Dr. Ware so much for being with us today.
My honor.
Thank you again, Ashley, Jennifer, Shalonda, Joy, as always. My name is Kate. Have a wonderful summer, everyone.
Yes.
Bye.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you, guys. Have a good summer.